What's up guys, it's Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'll be doing a tutorial on this very bright and bold spring look here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we're starting out with the Charlotte's Magic Serum Crystal Elixir, just applying that to our skin to get our skin nice and firm and hydrated for this look. And then I'm going to go ahead and moisturize with the Pixie Rose Ceramide Cream, which you guys know I have been loving. Oh, it just makes my skin feel so amazing. It is perfect for prepping the skin for makeup. Now to color correct, I'm going to take the Maybelline Master Camo Color Corrector Stick in the shade Apricot. So just applying that to the areas that I have some darker spots, like under my eyes, around my mouth, and also along my cheek area. And then just using my fingers to blend that out before we apply foundation. Now for foundation, I'm taking the CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition Foundation. I'm not quite sure if they still sell this in stores. However, it is one of my favorite drugstore foundations. The shade match is perfect for my skin complexion and it just blends out so amazingly. I love that it is full coverage and it does dry more on the matte side, but it doesn't make my skin feel dry, if that makes sense. So I love it. I love the finish of it, and I'm just applying that all over my skin and then also blending it out with the foundation brush. And as you all see that whenever I blend it out with the foundation brush, I am using stippling motions as opposed to swiping it on, because that helps to prevent streaks from happening in your foundation. And then I always go in with a damp beauty blender and kind of press it in all over my skin just to get rid of any excess product. Now for concealer, I'm taking the Morphe concealer in the shade C.355 or C3.55, and it's applying that to the areas I normally highlight, which is under my eyes, bridge of my nose, forehead, Cupid's bow, in my chin area. And then to blend it out, you guys know that recently I have been doing a new technique where I actually blend out the concealer with just a small fluffy brush first, and then I go in with the beauty blender. I have just found that this technique just makes my under eye look flawless. And then once I go in and blend it with the brush, I'll just go over really lightly with the damp beauty blender, and also just make sure to blend out the edges so that way we don't have any harsh lines. Now to set my under eye area, I'm taking the Laura Mercier setting powder and it's applying that, of course, those same areas. But another technique you guys know that I have been doing is I have actually been applying 2 layers of powder. So I first go in with a very thin layer of powder first to kind of set those areas, and then I go in with a thicker layer of powder to bake. So here I am just doing the first initial thin layer. And then as you can see now, I'm going in and baking that area. So I'm applying, a thicker layer of powder. And this is also great for catching any fallout from my eyeshadow, because I'll be able to easily dust it away later on. Okay, now to set my entire face, I'm taking the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder or Baked Powder in the shade Mahogany, and it's applying that all over my face with just a fluffy brush. This is going to be a good way to not only set our foundation in place, but it also controls oil and it brings back some of that warmth into the skin. Now for bronzer, I'm taking the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NW48 and just using a fluffy brush from Laura Mercier. I believe this is actually called the bronzer brush, and it's applying, that to my cheekbones as well as around my forehead. And then to further sharpen my cheekbones, I'm taking some of that Laura Mercier powder and just kind of carving out my cheeks to make the cheekbones really pop. Now for the eyes, I'm taking the MAC Lane Low Paint Pot and it's applying that on my lids with just a small dense brush, and of course blending it out with my fingers. And now it is time for the eyes. So for the eyes, I'm first starting off with the Anastasia Beverly Hills by Jackie Aina palette and taking the shade Ginger to apply that in my crease. It's just a really pretty warm shade and really blending it out so that we don't have any harsh lines. And as you all can see right here, I'm taking a clean, fluffy blending brush to really blend out those harsh edges. Now for the pop of color. So I'm using the Juvia's Place Warrior 3 palette, which is a really bold, bright palette. And I'm just applying this really pretty matte blue shade. It's the shade Gola from that palette. And it's applying that in my crease. Now to apply it in my crease, I'm using a Morphe M514 brush. And this is super important because this brush here is really precise and it really helps to just pack that color right in the crease, which is exactly what I want. I didn't want it to move too high up or anything. I wanted to pack it right in that crease area. So that's why a small, tiny brush is going to work best. And then once I blend out Gola, I'm going to go on top of that with a little bit of the shade Candice, which is a really pretty matte purple. And it's apply that right on top to further deepen that crease shade. I don't like the blue on its own, so I feel like Candice would really make it pop, which it really did. Now here is the star of the show. So I'm taking the shade Conga from that palette, and as you all can see, it is the most beautiful blue metallic shadow. And as you all can see, like just using your fingers to apply it makes the color really pop. Like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I just applied that all over the lid with my finger, and as you can see, it's definitely the star of the show. So once I applied that, I'm going to go in and just blend out that crease a little bit more with a mix of the shade Candice and Gola, as well as apply it down below my eyes in the waterline area just to really add a pop of color on my lower lash line as well. Again, is take your time here, blend out the crease area as well as lower lash line, because as I mentioned, you do not want any harsh lines. So just take your time. But you guys, as you all can see, these colors are thebomb.com. Okay, now going in with the shade Trust Issues from the Anastasia Beverly Hills by Jackie Aina palette, and it's popping that color into my inner corners. I'm just using a small pencil brush, and it's applying that there, of course, for a nice pop of shimmer and to kind of help brighten up that inner corner area. And then once you are done with that, just go ahead and dust away that excess powder. And then for this step, I wanted to add a little bit more of something in the center of the eye. So I added a little bit of the shade Trust Issues right in the center of my lid, like right in the center. I didn't apply it all over. And as you guys can see, just doing that makes that eye pop even more. Of course, applied my Milani blush. You guys know I love the Coral Cove blush from Milani. I'm also going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Powder and applied that under my eyes to give us a nice finished look. And now it is time for the lips. So first, I'm starting off with the MAC Cork Lip Liner and applying that to my lips. And then, of course, you can't forget to apply your favorite pair of falsies. Here, I'm using the Big Fan False Lashes from The Balm. I've been loving these lately. And then for my waterline, I wanted a nice pop of blue there. Of course, going to tie the look together. So I'm taking the Urban Decay Chaos 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil and it's applying that to the waterline. And then for the lips, I am going to apply the shade Goals from Laura Mercier. It's one of the Laura Mercier Velour Extreme Matte Lipsticks. It's a really, really, really pretty rosy pink. As you guys can see, I just like a really soft pink lip would just look perfect with this eye combo. So I just applied that all over. You guys know how much I love these. And then it wasn't like the edges weren't deep enough to me, and I didn't want to apply more brown, so I actually just had the idea to apply the MAC Cherry lip liner to the edges just to kind of make it pop more. And y'all, look at the difference it made. I'm telling y'all, the MAC Cherry liner with this Goals lipstick is just the perfect spring combo. And then to finish off the look, I went ahead and applied the Ardell Sugar Brow Pen to my brows, kind of, create those really soft brow strokes, as well as set my brow hairs with some clear brow gel. And this is the finished look. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on this really bright and bold spring makeup look. If you all did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.